ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ओम श्री सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम ध्यायामि चिन्मयानन्दं गुरुदेवं महामतिं प्रेमपूर्णं क्रियाशीलं सदा लोकहिते रतं कृपालुं सुन्दराकारं समर्थं सत्यदर्शिनं वाचा तत्त्वप्रकाशिन्या शोकमोहविनाशिनम्। ओम श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम नमो नारायणाय। 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 ओम ऋतगं सत्यं परं ब्रह्म पुरुषं कृष्णपिङ्गलम् ऊर्ध्वरेतं विरूपाक्षं विश्वरूपाय वै नमो नमः। ओम नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णुः प्रचोदयात्। हरि ओम, सुप्रभातम्। ओम शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ओम शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिहृद्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथम्। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। We will chant from the 14th shloka. सर्वगः सर्वविद्भानुर्विश्वक्सेनो जनार्दनः वेदो वेदविदव्यङ्गो वेदाङ्गो वेदवित्कविः लोकाध्यक्षः सुराध्यक्षो धर्माध्यक्षः कृताकृतः चतुरात्मा चतुर्व्यूहश्चतुर्दंष्ट्रश्चतुर्भुजः भ्राजिष्णुर्भोजनं भोक्ता सहिष्णुर्जगदादिजः अनघो विजयो जेता विश्वयोनिः पुनर्वसुः उपेन्द्रो वामनः प्रांशुरमोघः शुचिरूर्जितः अतीन्द्रः संग्रहः सर्गो धृतात्मा नियमो यमः. Yesterday we saw the first two names, Upendraha and Vamanaha. Yesterday was a special day when we touched upon the Nama Vamanaha. This we saw yesterday. Balim Vamana Rupena Yachitavan iti Vamanaha and Sambhajyatiya iti va Vamanaha, Acharya Shankara writes. A little more thoughts on this Nama. Vama means happiness. Vama means Shanti, peace. And you may add all similar kinds of meanings. Naha means Nayati. Nayati meaning what? The one who leads people to happiness. It's called Vamanaha. Very interestingly, the Bharya, the wife, is always on the Vama Bhaga, it is said. And I am talking about Shastra. Alright, please take it accordingly. She is supposed to give happiness to the husband and the family. Very interesting interpretations keep coming in the life. People say, who is a husband whose hasna bandh ho gaya karke. No, those are all a lighter moment. People spread some nice jokes, etc. But Vama Bhagini, the one who is in the left side, that is the wife, the Ardhangini, is supposed to give happiness in various forms. Physically, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually. In all the four, in fact, no homa, havana, yajna, ityad karma can be done without the wife. Both have to sit for the yajna, agnihotradi karma. So she takes half of the rights and she gives half of everything of hers for the sake of the happiness of the couple and the family at large. Here Vamanaha Bhagavan is one who brings happiness through what? What did Vamana do? First, he occupied the entire universe with one foot, and with another foot he occupied entire all other lokas. With 2 footsteps he has occupied everything. Meaning, he is the only one who gives happiness to all the lokas, to everybody. Therefore, he is Bhagavan himself. It cannot be anybody else. It cannot be any individual. And then, even though he has occupied everything, our individual ego is what comes between me and Bhagavan. Therefore, with the third step, he pushes down the individuality, the ego, and thereby ensures total happiness. Therefore, he is called Vamanaha. Madhye Vamanamasinam. There is a mistake. It must be Vishve Devaha. It has become Vishche Devaha. Vishve Devaha upasate. Madhye Vamanamasinam. Having Bhagavan as the center, Vishve Devaha Upasate. Upasate meaning they worship Vamana. Then comes the Nama Pramshuhu. Pramshuhu meaning what? Sa eva Jagatrayam Kramamanaha. Kramamanaha means the one who puts in order. Order means who brings order in the whole Jagat-trayam, in all the three lokas. Pramshuhu. Pramshuhu means the one who is tall. Pramshuhu abhut iti Pramshuhu. Pramshuhu here is what? The one who is tall. Now look at the three namas together. First is Atindraha, Vamanaha, Pramshuhu. Upendraha. Upendraha, Vamanaha, Pramshuhu. Upendraha is the brother of Indra. There, Bhagavan comes as the younger brother. Vamanaha as small, as a dwarf-like entity. And here Pramshuhu, very tall. What does this indicate? It indicates that Bhagavan is ready to take any stand for the sake of helping us to reach that supreme, to reach happiness. And this is a beautiful lesson for all of us. How? In life, so many situations come and go. There are conducive situations, there are unconducive situations. There are pleasant situations, there are unpleasant situations. And like that, so many situations of varied type come to us, and all of them are different from each other and definitely influence our lifestyle. There are situations which are very elating. It will take us to very good heights. It will bring us lot of pleasure. It will bring us lot of joy. It will make us jump high. And there are situations which will be contradictory to all of them. It will pull us down. It will bring lot of sorrow, pain, suffering. It can also bring various emotional changes in life. What do we mean by emotional changes? Our relationships can be at stake. Our sthana, position can be at stake. Our conditions around us can be at stake. And every moment, situation, circumstances keeps changing. This changing is life. Sukha, dukkha, labha, nashta, ninda, stuti. These are all called life. Pairs of opposites we call. And who is the one who can derive happiness out of all kinds of situations? The one who accepts the situation as they are, one, and adapts himself to that situation. At the same time, who is able to remain at poise. Sukha dukkhe same kritva labha labhau jaya jayau tato yuddhaya yujyasva naivam papam avapsyasi, says Bhagavad Gita. Sukha dukkhe same kritva. This same kritva is a very, very important word. Now that does not mean when sukha comes, I keep quiet. Why? Same kritva. I don't have to jump. And when dukkha comes, I don't have to collapse, or they say, no, the dukkha comes, I will not respond. That is a wrong way of response. That is not being normal. That is not being humane. One do respond to all such situations. At the same time, one makes sure that he is unaffected by them, but he responds to them. There are two words. One is responding to situation, another one is reacting to situations. What we normally do is we react to the situation, and that reaction itself many times causes lot of disturbances, lot of confusion, lot of friction in the world. Problem does not bring, the situation does not bring any change. The situation remaining the same, it is my reaction that makes it worse. Therefore, I must learn to accept, and occasionally I must learn to become small. Becoming small whenever it is required and standing firm whenever situation demand are a very, very great talents. What we do is we interchange. Where we have to become small, humble and simple, we try to establish our ego. Where we have to stand firm, we don't stand firm, we fall prey. Think. When condition situations come confronting us, we are expected to stand firm with sthira buddhi. But what happens? Out of the force of our own vasanas, very many times, if not all times, we fall prey. We are unable to hold on to ourselves. And where we are supposed to become humble, where we are supposed to become simple, be subdued. For example, in front of elders, in front of parents, in front of teachers, in front of Bhagavan, we want to establish our identity. Think. Sukshma roopadhari siyahi dikhava, bikata roopadhari lanka jarava, bhima roopadhari asura samhare, Ramachandra ke kaj samvare, says Hanuman Chalisa. In front of the mother, when he went in front of Sita Devi, Sukshma, Atilaghu Rupa, Hanumanji took. Whereas what do? In front of our mother? We become very arrogant and we shout at our mothers, we shout at elders, we shout at all elderly and aged people, and to establish what? As though I am a very intelligent person, I am a very powerful person, we show our irresponsible power in front of responsible people. Vamana Avatara is a very beautiful teaching. And then Pramshuhu is another wonderful teaching. When it is required, you must become small. He became the younger brother of Indra. Think. Therefore, adapting ourselves to situations appropriately will not bring sorrow or suffering, will only add happiness. Think. That is the glory of Bhagavan. Right? Pramshuhu, he stands tall. And then one must stand tall with their own values. The values must be firm and values must speak. Therefore, here Pramshuhu is one who stands tall with virtues, values, etc. The next word, nama, is Amogha. This nama has already come once earlier, where we interpreted the nama as infallible. The same is Acharya Shankara interprets it as Na Mogham Cheshtitam Yasya Saha, the one whose actions are always fruitful and purposeful and it never goes waste. I remember, I am not sure whether you remember, I had taken that Chaupai from Tulsi Ramayana. Jimi Amogha Raghupati Karbana, Ehi Bhati Chale Wo Hanumana. Jimmy Amogha Raghupati Karbana. Raghupati's Bana, Rama Bana, is called Amogha. Why is it called Amogha? Because it will never fail its target. It will never miss its target. Here also, Bhagavan's actions are those which are always fruitful, always purposeful, and we may also add always successful. How does it happen? How can he be always fruitful and always purposeful? Many times we fail. That is the difference. We fail in our actions because our actions are colored by, contaminated by our own ragadvesha, our own swartha, our own desperate desires. Therefore, what happens? The mind which is contaminated with desires, the mind which is contaminated with swartha, is a mind which will get disturbed and distracted. It will get frustrated. It will get, sorrowful because everything is not successful in our life. Our abilities are limited. Our avenues are limited. Think. With a limited ability and limited avenues, one cannot achieve everything. Therefore, when I desire and I want, then what happens? Sorrow is supplied free. Think. Disappointment is supplied free. Param Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananji very beautifully would say, disappointment is only to the one who has an appointment in the future. And what is our appointment? Our appointment are desires, demands, want. For what? For Vishayas. Vishayasakta manaha will definitely have failures. Bhagavan has no Vishayasakti. Everything is he himself. What I have, I don't have to desire. I desire only for what I don't have. If Bhagavan himself is everything, then what is there for him to desire? Therefore, there is no ragadvesha, there are no desires, there is no swartha. And because of all these, the mind is calm and quiet. A mind which is desireless is a mind which is quiet and composed. Such a mind which is quiet and composed, meaning where there are no ragadvesha, where there is no kama and krodha, such a mind is quiet and becomes efficient. Because of that quietude, quieter the mind, sharper the intellect, Gurudev would say. And the mind is quiet and the intellect is sharper, the ability to discriminate between right and wrong, etc. are more sharper, more easier, and therefore the choice becomes comfortable. And will definitely choose the right choice, will take the right choice, and success is guaranteed. Therefore, none of our actions then will become wasteful, will never become, purposeless. Therefore, being niswartha and at the same time not getting influenced by ragadvesha, one becomes efficient. Earlier we had seen dakshata praptihi. When we were taking classes on Tattva Bodha, the first or second classes, we had 5 important purpose of gaining Atma Vidya. In that, the 5th one was Dakshata Praptihi. What is Dakshata Praptihi? Gaining efficiency to handle and succeed. This comes when there is Niswartha. And one becomes Amogha. And therefore Bhagavan is called Amogha, who is always fruitful, always purposeful, and always successful. Continuing, Shuchihi. This is another very beautiful nama. We will first see Acharya's commentary and then proceed. Smaratam, Stuvatam, Archayatam cha Pavanatvat Shuchihi. Now see, Shuchihi means purity. Purity means what? That which is not contaminated. This example we have seen earlier. This word also has several words, namas are of similar kind. Purity means that which is not contaminated. Now, for example, we gave the example of H2O, water. Anything other than H2O is an impurity in that water. Right? Similarly, our Nija Swarupa is Satchit Ananda Swarupa. That is the true nature. Anything other than the true nature is impurity. Now we have so much of impurity. The very first contamination is, I am this body, I am a jiva, then I have a mind, I have an intellect, etc., etc., are all contaminations in the human mind. Now, if I have to remove those contaminations, if I have to make my mind pure, if I have to keep my mind rendered pure, then what do? I bring in that dissimilar thoughts. What is that dissimilar thoughts? The similar thoughts right now is, I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect, I am the son of so-and-so, father of so-and-so, husband of so-and-so, wife of so-and-so, etc., etc., etc. I am a managing director, I am an officer, I am a clerk, I am a laborer, ityadi. All these are contaminations in my true nature, which is Satchidananda Swarupa. Now, what is the next plan of action? The plan of action to reach my true nature is, I have to remove all these contamination. If it was some dirt in my hand, I probably can apply some soap and then wash it up, the dirt will go. If there are some dirt in my cloth, I can wash it and dirt will go. What do I do with the dirt in my mind? Bhakti, we have seen this thought also earlier. Many times we may have to repeat the thought to remember them and then again and again apply that, that particular way of reaching Bhagavan. What do I do with the contamination in my mind? I take up to Bhakti Marga. But if I am not an emotional person, Karma Yoga. If I am a very rational person, Jnana Yoga, through analysis. Therefore, based on my personality, I take up certain sadhana, and in that sadhana, when I approach with that type of sadhana, one can easily remove the contamination. Here Acharya says, smaratam. Smaratam meaning what? By remembering the Lord. Constantly taking the name of the Lord. Stuvantam, by worshipping the Lord. We had seen earlier, Navavidha Bhakti. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoha Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. Navavidha Bhakti, so many types are given. Why? According to that which is comfortable for me, through which I can connect myself to Bhagavan, I pick up that sadhana. All the 9 are not necessary. What is necessary here is to remove my mind from the selfish thoughts and place the mind at the feet of the Lord. through which the mind becomes purer. The mind becomes less self-centered. The mind becomes more purer. Think. Therefore, smaratam, stuvatam, archyatam, offering, archana, offering, taking the name of the Lord, glorifying the Lord. All that what happens, it makes my mind, at the first stage, it makes my mind withdraw from the external world and rechannelize the energies of the mind and to reach Bhagavan. The more and more I do these activities, the more and more I become purer. Now look at that. Pavanatvat. What is Pavanatvat? It purifies. It cleanses the mind from impurities. Think. Idle mind is a devil's workshop. See, we are all very good in talking statements. In the mobile there was one app. What is it? Talking Tom. There was one app, Talking Tom. When you say something, it will repeat. Like a parrot, the Talking Tom with that cat's face. It will repeat in its own style, it will repeat. Talking Tom. We are all Talking Toms. All of us are Talking Toms. We only repeat statements. Either from the Shastra, in case we have learnt a little by mistake, or whatever the Guru says, whatever the teacher says, we only repeat them. There are very many people like that. We repeat them, and when we repeat it in front of 10 people, people feel very happy. Oh, ha, like that. But we are only Talking Toms. It has to come from within. Those statements must find its meaning in our utterance. That will come only when I live them. Think. How do I live them? By constantly being in touch with them and not allowing my mind, please underline, not allowing my mind to run astray. It is not so easy. If it is so easy, then all of us will become realized masters. It is because it is not so easy. It is because the mind is so strong in running out of me. So many sadhanas are prescribed. Manaha chanchalam asthiram asamshayam mano mahabaho, says Krishna. Asamshayam, no doubt, mind is fickle. Mind is unstable. If Bhagavan Sri Krishna himself has to accept, endorse, acknowledge that statement that mind is fickle, mind is unstable, then how strong that fickleness or the instability should be? Think. Therefore, we have a higher task. Think. If mind is so unstable, mind is so fickle, mind is so desperate in running behind the whims and fancies, uncontrollably. In fact, very many times, I am being polite by saying at not all times, but most of the times, we know what we are doing is wrong while we are doing. And we are pushed into it. By what? Our own vasanas, previously collected vasanas. Bahunam janmanam. But when my mind is constantly in smarana, in stavaha, with archana, with navavida bhakti, when I occupy that mind with positive thoughts, the mind has no room for negative thoughts. When I do not engage my mind in positive thoughts, mind becomes contaminated with negative thoughts, because negativity is stronger in reaching you than positivity these days. Especially, think. We easily pick up negative qualities, but we take time to pick up positive qualities. This is the nature of the mind. Don't blame Bhagavan. Therefore, Bhagavan has done it this way. What? That mind is fickle. Mind is unstable. At the same time, it is the same Bhagavan who has blessed us with intelligence. How often do we use the intelligence? Very many times we are trapped in such a condition, in such a situation, that the intelligence has no power. We fall prey. Why? Why does this happen? Because of two very important reasons. One, I have not occupied my idle mind, and two, I have succumbed to the same mind's demands. If I have occupied my mind very well with the thoughts of the Lord, I have no time to think of the demands and desires. I am able to think of demands and desires only because the mind is available for them. If I don't make the mind available for them, mind is completely involved, indulged in thoughts of Bhagavan. They have to keep on waiting. But our case is different. We keep Bhagavan waiting and give entry to them. Is it not? Therefore, how do I change this pattern? How do I take a U-turn? Smaratam, stuvatam, archayatam. Occupy the mind. Yesterday one person had come to the ashram in the evening. Yes, since Deepavali we had lit some lamps. One person walked in and he asked me certain questions. Why is Bhakti Marga required? Why is karma required? When Jnana Devatu Kaivalyam is an Upanishadic statement, only through Jnana alone I can reach Bhagavan. Bhakti and karma are not going to take us to Bhagavan, only Jnana will take. Then why are they, administering the thoughts of Bhakti and karma? Why is it required? Think. If I can gain Bhagavan through Jnanam, teach me Jnanam. Why do you teach me Bhakti? Why is all this required? He asked me yesterday. Very important, beautiful question. But the answer is like this. If I have to gain a degree in, let us say, medicine, if I have to gain a degree in medicine, MBBS, then 10th standard is required. 12th standard is required. Think. Before that, 7th standard is required. All these are required if I have to go into the class of MBBS. Why all these are required? All these certificates of use are useless when I get MBBS certificate. Is it not? When I get an MBBS certificate, I don't have to give an supporting, document of SSLC certificate. Not required. Why? I have already got the MBBS certificate. But MBBS certificate cannot be got unless I produce 10th standard certificate. Think. A seat in MBBS college is required, medical college is required, and for that seat, I require a 12th standard certificate. To enter into the 12th standard, 10th standard certificate is very much required. Similarly, to enter the hall of Vedanta, purity of mind is very important. Shuchihi is extremely important. And for the mind to be rendered clean, to make the mind clean, to make the mind purer, to make the mind quiet, karma, bhakti, dhyana, puja, japa, sankirtana, all these are required. Think. Therefore, smaratam. Smaratam for shuchihi, pavanatvat. Stuvatam, pavanatvat. Archayatam, pavanatvat. And then gain purity. In case of Bhagavan Nama, Shuchihi is a name. Please note, yesterday we talked about this. In case of Bhagavan, all these are names of Bhagavan. But when we turn towards us, it becomes values for us. It becomes virtues if we follow them. And once it starts becoming a value and I imbibe those qualities in me and I become one with it, then it becomes a virtue in me and that can be called as my name. Think. It becomes a name only when it turns to be a virtue. Otherwise, it remains a value out of me. Think. Shuchihi. Urjitaha. What is Urjitaha? Bala prakarshashalitvat. The one who has infinite strength and vitality. He is all greatness. He is all glorification. How does he get all that? Because he uses his energies for positivities. Bhagavan is the one who has full strength. Why? He is not weakened by individuality or ragadvesha. Bhagavan is not partial. Very many situations in our life will drive us to think that Bhagavan is partial. Circumstances will drive us to think that Bhagavan is not looking at me. Bhagavan is not thinking of me. Bhagavan is not considering me. Etc. We blame Bhagavan. But Bhagavan is not so. He is full of strength and vitality because he has no reason to lose them. We lose our strength and vitality because we have 1234 reasons to lose them every time. Think. Whereas Bhagavan is Urjitaha, the one who is full of strength, full of vitality. And wherever there is strength, wherever there is vitality, when they are directed and channelized towards the right direction, towards the right activity, greatness, glorification, name, fame automatically come. You don't have to run behind them. Let them run behind you. Think. Therefore, be strong with the values. Have vitality with virtues. And then greatness will come. That is the very nature of Bhagavan. Therefore, he is called Urjitaha. Atindraha. This again has got another angle of thinking. We will see this tomorrow. All right. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.